All right, it's been a minute since we've had an update on the Mandella, so let me go through a few of the things that we've done here on the boat. So one of the nice things that we've done is, all right, the dash has been changed around. We have GPS speedometer, tack, volt, oil pressure, water temperature, and fuel. Fuel's on the starboard tank. We have a grab bar over here. We have a new ignition switch, and we have bilge blower and navigation lights. Down here we have some custom-made cup holders that friction fit over the stringers, and they work really well. We have this electronics board where all the electronics come. Here's another cup holder for Georgia, and then this is an experiment here. This little barrier here to keep towels and miscellaneous stuff from sliding back and forth in the boat and give us access to it while we're boating. Also painted the stringers and the bulkhead and the sides of the boat to clean it up a little bit. Up there's been painted white because it was black before, which nothing wrong with black, but you can't see anything in the dark. So white reflects light, makes it easier to see things up there. And then this little shower caddy holds paperwork, starter fluid, a horn, a fire extinguisher on the other side, and then the fuel key. So that's available and out of the way. This boat has an electric fuel pump, and so I made this bracket so it's mounted rather than just hanging in the atmosphere. And because it's electric, every time you turn the key on, the fuel pump runs. So I installed a switch to where I can turn off the fuel pump if I'm doing electrical work on the boat without having the fuel pump running in the garage. But when we're operating, that's on, and then there's the battery switch for the battery. So that way I don't have to smell gasoline fumes when I'm working on the boat. There is the bilge pump. Well, there's nothing wrong with the bilge pump. It needs about an inch or two before it'll actually function, so I don't know if I can find a better design or a shallow pickup. Put in a new fuel water separator and mounted that on the bulkhead back here. One of the things that happens when you go boating, you need to bring extra stuff. So I thought, what if we had a box in the back of the boat we could put things, but it's an odd shape, so this goes like that, and then this comes up like that. So we got the anchor, the flag, a little toolkit, fuel stick, super soaker that I use as a bilge pump, and then the lid just comes down and it closes. So let's show that again. That flips over, that comes up, and there's access to the stuff in the box. I don't know if the lid's really needed, but it does keep the water out, and there are some holes in the bottom of the box to allow the water to drain. These are the hinges for the engine cover. It actually connects on the inside, which worked out pretty well, actually. Here we have a bow light. Now this is where things get, say, interesting. Most low-profile V drives don't have a lot of hardware on them. We have some pop-up cleats because sometimes you need to tie a line off. I have them on the front. In the back, we'll use this handle to tie a line to. I have a ski bar here, and this is the bilge discharge. This, and this are all new. And then on the back here, these are mufflers, and I'm getting over a 10 dB drop, so it works pretty well. These are 8-inch muffler inserts, and on the prototypes I had 10-inch. I got a little bit more sound reduction with the 10-inch baffles, but that was on a 45, and that had them sticking out here. So I made this a 60 degree, and it does not exceed the trailer, so I won't back this into anything. I'll hit the lights before I hit the boat. Over here we have a blower set up. Now you don't need a blower for an open engine compartment, but you do need a blower when you have an engine cover, and we have an engine cover, so the hose gets routed accordingly when there's a cover on it. Right now it's just sitting in the bilge. And as I pointed out, we have new dash switches. So we got bilge, blower, and navigation lights. And that's about it for now. Over the life of the boat, it had been beached several times, which kind of ground down the fiberglass, so I built that back up and put some epoxy primer on there. This is not ideal, but it will work for now until I paint the boat, which takes us to the next thing. Since I'm not a painter, I need to teach myself to paint, because it's easy to pay people to do things, but it's also very nice to do things on your own. So let me set up the camera and we can look at things. Hang on. All right, so as I was saying, I'd like to paint the boat, but I'm not a painter, so I need to learn a new skill. So I've been doing some practice panels. Here we have an electric blue with a white metal flake. This is a starlight, and this is 0.08015 metal flake, and this is a snow white. Here we have a Comet Silver with the electric blue, the white, the starlight, and the silver metal flake. This is a combination of 0.815, 0.15 metal flake. Made a mistake here because I laid it on too thick, but let me go to the other panels. So this is Comet Silver and 0.8 metal flake. So here we have the electric blue on an electric blue base, and then the starlight, and this was insufficient coverage here, as you can see, but this is part of the learning curve, and it looks one way here, but let's wait till we get it out in the sunlight. It's a whole different ball game. Okay, so this is the electric blue, this is the electric blue metal flake, this is the starlight. I hope the camera's picking this up. This is actually very beautiful. It just dances in the sunlight. This is a Comet Silver base coat, which looks nice all on its own. And this is 0.008 metal flake, which we'll do some candies on here to experiment. This is the 0.008 metal flake. It's really pretty. Oh, sorry. This is the Comet Silver. I'm getting myself mixed up here. This is the Comet Silver base coat, which is beautiful all on its own. And then on top of that, we have the 0.008 metal flake. And this just dances in the sunlight, which is really nice. So we'll be doing some testing and skill development before I decide on the color scheme for the boat. And there you have it. This is my test panel for experimenting with the candies. Where my thumb is the Comet Silver, and then we have the 0.008 metal flake. This is sprayed over a previous test which had some failures, so I don't know if you can see it in the paint. There are some surface irregularities in there, but that's okay for the experimenting. What's interesting about the silver and the silver metal flake is you don't really see the orange peel until you start sanding. And this particular piece had more orange peel in it than I care to admit, but for a beginner painter that's going to happen, I suppose. You can see some of the surface imperfections here that on the failed previous attempt underneath that, but it'll be all right. I'll clean this off and then backmask it and then spray some candies on it. Come back again, and thanks for watching.